Welcome to History Today, Episode 8, Part 2. Little known facts about Joliet.
So last month's podcast was a smidgen of this and a smidgen of that. It was fairly fun for me, and I am told by loyal listeners that it was pretty decent. So we're going to try that one more time. Did you know that there was an island between Joliet's east bank of the Des Plaines River and the west bank? And it was so large, in fact, that there was a wallpaper factory on it. That's pretty cool. The first wooden bridge went from the west bank to the island and from the island to the east bank. Now, Jefferson Street Bridge was the first bridge connecting the east bank directly to the west bank. There were several wooden temporary bridges, but the first stone bridge was named after the first mayor of Joliet. Will County was formed from Iroquois County, Grundy County, and Cook County. And then, by 1863, there were already 175 schools in Will County. There were already schools before the incorporation of Joliet. The first real hospital in Joliet was the St. Joseph Hospital located on Broadway. A new hospital was eventually built that we know of as St. Joseph Medical Center that's on Madison Avenue. It's been owned by several medical companies. Joliet also had a pest house on the far east side on Cass Street, somewhere in the vicinity of Walnut and Cass. Many patients who got smallpox during the outbreak were put in seclusion in this pest house. It eventually was torn down. However, the first hospital, according to the Will County Historical Museum, was in an old brick house on Scott and Cass Street, which was used after a train derailed. In that derailment, 60 passengers were injured and 16 were killed. On a semi-lighter note, Abraham Lincoln came to Joliet in 1856 to give a speech for a political candidate. The political rally was held in a grove that would have been in the vicinity of Center Street and Western Avenue. Circle Drive in Ingalls Park served in several interesting capacities. Before it became a residential area, it was first an Indian encampment. It was the Will County Fairgrounds. There was a horse track there, and during the Civil War was a training camp. Between 1861 and 1862, it was the site of Camp Goodell, where the men of the 20th and 100th Illinois Infantry were taught the art of soldiering.
Check out these new and exciting programs coming soon to the Joliet Public Library. African American Kinship Reunion Program. Join us at our Ottawa Street branch on Saturday, February 21st from 1 to 4 p.m. for a special presentation on African American kinship. After the presentation, on-site DNA testing will be available. Must be 18 years or older to agree to have DNA tested, and registration is required. DIY Friendship Bracelets. Stop by our Ottawa Street branch on Tuesday, February 17th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and make custom friendship bracelets to share with family, friends, or even strangers. This event is for ages 16 and up. Registration is required. Comic Book Creation Club. Comic Book Creation Club is looking for talented illustrators to help put the finishing touches on a long-awaited project. Come see what it's all about at our Ottawa Street branch on Wednesday, February 18th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pull from the designated scripts and bring the characters to life using your own personal style, or color in some already finished pages using our state-of-the-art digital media studio. This event is for adults only. Registration is required. Smart TV. Having trouble with your smart TV? Swing by our Ottawa Street branch on Wednesday, February 18th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and we'll go through all the applications that are available through your smart TV, Roku, or Fire Stick. This event is for adults only. Registration is required. Audrey Hepburn. Join us at our Ottawa Street branch on Thursday, March 12th from 7 to 8 p.m. for an evening with the beloved actress Audrey Hepburn, portrayed by award-winning actress and historian Leslie Goddard. Hepburn shares everything from her work as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, her childhood during World War II, her remarkable success in films such as Roman Holiday, and her lifelong efforts to find real love. This event is for adults only. Registration is required.
Here's an interesting thought. Long before Larkin Avenue came to be, that road was called the Outer Belt Highway. Western Avenue was once known as Cross Street when Joliet was first settled. There was a shooting park near where the interchange of I-80 and South Larkin Avenue are today. We currently have in Joliet an airfield owned by the Joliet Park District, the Joliet Municipal Airport. Did you know that there was an airport in Joliet before this? It was on Route 53 going south on the right-hand side, just after Knoll Park. It was called Wilhelmy Field. For some 40 years, there was a service station at the point where South Chicago Street and Eastern Avenue come to a point. It was a Sinclair station. It was one of the first stations of its type to offer a restroom for ladies. It was very near the current location of Milano Bakery. Oh, and here's a tasty one. There was a restaurant in the basement of the Rialto called Davidson's Cafeteria. And of course, we have to remember that when the Rialto was being built, the blueprints actually called for a grand hotel and a restaurant in that complex. Did you know that the corporate headquarters for Standard Oil, the precursor for Amoco, was located on Cass Street in Joliet before it moved to Chicago? Let's see. Remember that Mount Joliet that we're always talking about? That's named after Louis Joliet? Well, it was at one time 60 feet high and a half-mile across. And how about the high school in Joliet before the magnificent Joliet Township High School Central Campus was built? It too was called Central School. It was on Webster Street and Chicago Street. It was of colonial architecture. After the new high school was opened, this building was used as an elementary school. It was renamed Roosevelt School after the president who had come to Joliet to visit. So that's a wrap for this month's History Today podcast, coming to you today from the digital media studio at the Joliet Public Library. If you have questions about today's information, send me an email at adrilling@jolietlibrary.org. Listen to the podcast next month, which will feature the top 20 Joliet people to know about in Joliet history.
If you have any questions or concerns about the content of this podcast, please call Anneta Drilling, local history or librarian, at 815-846-3112, or email her at adrilling@jolietlibrary.org. I'm Patrick Maloney, and I'll see you next time when history repeats itself.